cute.
You can't have
Hi,
my
Loki.
coffee. You don't need my coffee.
He says, well, why not? I totally could.
What is that?
Welcome to episode 3 of What Does It Mean to You? Today I'm with my friend Caitlin, and I'll let her go ahead and introduce herself.
So my name's Caitlin, and I'm going into my junior year at IUPUI, and I'm studying geology with a minor in anthropology, and my goal is to become a paleontologist.
How did you kind of end up in that route? Obviously you are from a farming background. We were in 4-H together, that's how we met.
Yep.
But how did your route change, or did it ever, was this always your dream?
Yeah, so ever since I was little, like, I've always been interested in dinosaurs, and so I guess as I got older I kind of stuck with that. I've never really lost interest in it.
Yeah.
And so I decided to go the geology route because, for the simple fact that nowhere around here has a major for paleontology.
Right.
I just watched a lot of like dinosaur shows and read a lot of dinosaur books, and
Yeah.
my mom was always like kind of coercing me into that stuff because I loved it.
Well, it's awesome that your parents supported you in that instead
Yeah.
of, you know, some farm families have issues getting kids back to the farm, so some try to
Yeah.
make them stay, but it sounds like your parents didn't do that.
No, not at all. I've always loved the farm stuff too. I've literally never not been around cattle.
Yeah.
And like as I got older, we progressively got more animals.
Mm-hmm.
We started the goats like 6 years ago, something like that. And then now my brother is into pigs, and I have the horse and the donkey, and so we've got the whole thing going on
Yeah.
now. And yeah, I can't stay away. I come home almost every weekend because,
Right.
you know, a lot of it is still my stuff that I take care of, and I try to be here as much as I can to help out my parents. And hopefully, eventually, when I have my own place, I can take whatever's left here and give them their
Okay.
time.
Yeah, I was gonna ask you what that looks like next.
I guess, like, as a paleontologist, from like the research I've done and stuff, you do have a lot of downtime because you're not constantly in the field. I actually have done an internship at the Children's Museum in Indianapolis, and you know, they work a regular like 9-to-5 job, and it's like really convenient for them because, I mean, they all have families and stuff too, and then during the summer they go out and do the dig season, and you know, so that's kind of ideal. That's kind of what I would maybe look at doing, for the simple fact that I don't want to leave behind the farm.
Yeah.
I definitely want to have cattle in the future, whether it be, you know, selling show stock,
Right.
or just having a herd of feeder calves or whatever
Yeah.
it may be. So yeah, I don't want to leave it behind. I definitely want to leave that open, and ideally move out west somewhere.
Okay.
Have a big, like,
Yeah.
100 acres or something.
Yeah. Tell me a little bit about the background. So you mentioned cattle. It's kind of where you started. Do you have a breed preference? Like, how did your family, I guess, the history of that? How did you end up with cows first?
So my dad has done cattle since he was like really young, like I think 13 or 14 years
Okay.
old. His dad bought a bunch of cows, and they moved to Kentucky at one point, and they had a couple hundred acres, and they had about 200 or some cows out there, and they would just raise them and sell them, and that was his livelihood.
Yeah.
And they moved back to Indiana, and his dad sold the farm, and they had maybe a few animals here and there, but they mostly did, like, you know, farming like in the field and stuff.
Yeah.
And then my dad got out of it for a while when he started to get into his career, and after his sister had her first child and that kid wanted to get into 4-H, then my dad was like, yeah, I'll help, like, I'll do it. And then so he bought a bunch of cows. Well, not a bunch. He bought like 3 or 4 cows.
Yeah.
And by that point, I think my mom was pregnant for me, and so that's kind of how I got introduced to it. And he started off with a shorthorn, an Angus, and a couple of crossbreds. 3 years ago, we finally moved the cattle home because for a while they were at the shop.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I remember those days. Yeah.
So it made it a lot easier on us, and 2 years ago we moved to this place where we tripled our size of our lot.
Yeah.
So we were able to actually start breeding cows again. I get so excited when we have the babies, and it's a really good, like, family thing. Like, my dad is at work a lot, and my mom, you know, has a bus route, and she works at the shop as well. And like, our family time is truly like going to cattle shows and working with the animals, and you know, all that kind of stuff. I mean, all that kind of summed up into one, I guess. You know, that's what it really means to me, is that it's really great for the family.
Yeah.
And it's really great kind of as, kind of an escape from the rest of the world. Like,
Yeah.
you can have so much stress and stuff, like especially being in college, and I come home to these animals and it's like, oh, that just goes.
Yeah. So I can relate to the like escaping thing. When you go to the wash rack with your calf,
Yeah.
like nothing else in the world matters other than you and that animal. So I think it is a really special relationship with your family and yourself and your animals that just being on an operation like this kind of brings. So it's sad that not many people really get to experience this anymore.
I mean, I do think that the livestock thing is kind of dwindling a little bit because people are so much more focused on kind of so many other things. Like, people don't necessarily understand how important it is to like raise animals and stuff that go to market and feed America and
Right. And beyond. Yeah.
Yeah, and it's an important thing not only for that purpose, but I think it's important to kind of teach you to grow as a person. Because like I said, you learn a lot from these animals, and like I just feel like it's a really important thing.
Yeah.
In that sense.
Definitely. It definitely is. Well, do you want to go actually see the animals now?
Yeah,
Could
we
we
can
do
do
that?
that.
Do
Yeah.
a little farm tour? Awesome.
Yeah.
All right. Cute. Hi, Loki.
You don't need my coffee.
He says, well, why not? I totally could.
What is that? No.
Juno.
And then.
Why are you in the feeder? Silly.
away,
Silly.
Loki. And then the red one is Bella. The one scratching herself is Lolly, and the one way back behind everything under the hay feeder is Hershey.
Yeah.
And then we have little tiny Loki. She's probably like 13. That's Pebbles.
Pebbles. What?
So she's a Hereford.
Okay, I was wondering. I was like, I'm guessing that's what she is, but.
And we're gonna keep her and breed her for next year. From left to right, we have Salem, Callie, Atlas, and Psy. I had to figure out which one is which. Ajax is our other one. He's the baby that we had last year from our Hereford cow.
Yeah.
But he's out in the pasture with the cows. Because he's very fat. Salem is the one that we're gonna keep and breed next year.
Okay.
And then we thought about keeping Callie, but we have a guy interested in her, and he's actually a good family friend. So we figure if she has a nice calf, we can buy the calf.
So define exactly what paleontology is, and if you wouldn't mind, the difference between archaeology and paleontology.
Okay, so paleontology is the study of like basically animal fossils. So dinosaurs, ancient mammals, trilobites, and things like that. And then the difference between archaeology and paleontology is that archaeology has more to do with the human side of things. So like clay pots, and archaeology is actually a branch of anthropology.
Okay.
So there's different like things within that. So archaeologists are not going to tend to study like ancient human bones and things. That is for physical anthropologists.
Okay.
So
I didn't realize there were so many different like
so
specifications.
anthropology has like 4 main like branches, and archaeology is one of them. And so archaeology focuses mainly on the artifacts, like I said, like clay pots and things like that people would have made.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. And it has like some like culture too, right? Like studying like historic cultures of like civilizations and stuff.
So like people who study like the pyramids in Egypt would be considered an archaeologist.
Okay.
So things like that.
So that makes more sense like than paleontology, fossils, the animals. So that got it.
Indiana actually has a lot of fossils, but they're not dinosaurs and things like that. So we have things from really, really old. The time period called the Ordovician was really big, so that was, don't quote me on it, but I think somewhere around like 300 million years ago.
Oh wow, okay.
Somewhere in that realm.
Yeah.
And so that's where we find a lot of the trilobites, and then brachiopods, crinoids, and like horn corals, which are all invertebrates.
Okay.
And then we have stuff from the Pleistocene, which is the Ice Age. So we have like mammoths, mastodons, saber-toothed tigers, ancient horses, and like all kinds of mammals and stuff like that. And actually a little fun fact I'll give you is that there's been a mammoth or mastodon found in every county in Indiana. Yes, every county in Indiana.
Really?
Yeah.
So 92 counties.
Yeah.
All of them have had.
Yep, at least one. So around the world, it depends on what rock is exposed. So there's a lot of places where there's been like more erosion, or maybe there was like a seaway that washed away a lot of the stuff, and things like that. So out west is in the United States is primarily where you find dinosaurs, and then there's some on the East Coast. There's a site in New Jersey where actually some of the first dinosaur fossils were found.
Okay.
And that's a big site for what we call hadrosaurs, which are the duck-billed dinosaurs.
Okay.
And then out west is you find a lot of Cretaceous and Jurassic stuff, and that's primarily where paleontologists will go to find things. There's just a lot of exposed rock, and it's really easy to see stuff sticking out of there because a lot of the rock is really like light tan colored, and fossils are typically darker. Around like South Dakota area, it was basically a shoreline.
Okay.
So dinosaurs would come up and get a drink of water, and they might, have been attacked or just happen to die along the sea line and then get buried and fossilized. And so there's like an abundance of them right along where the shoreline would have been.
Okay, and I've heard you say Jurassic a few times. What does that mean in terms of like what you're doing?
Okay, so the Mesozoic era is when dinosaurs existed.
Yes.
So you have the Triassic, the Jurassic, and the Cretaceous. And that's
Okay.
So the Triassic was the very first one. There's not really a whole lot of dinosaurs in it. It was more like archosaurs, which are basically just like ancient lizards.
Okay.
The Triassic is when we see the first dinosaurs, the first true dinosaurs.
Yeah.
And then the Jurassic was sort of the peak. That's when they got really, really big. And then the Cretaceous, at the end of the Cretaceous is when the big extinction happened.
Jurassic Park, is that like at all realistic?
Yes and no.
Okay.
There's definitely dinosaurs in it from the Jurassic and the Cretaceous.
Okay.
So in fact that it was called Jurassic Park, no.
When it really comes down to it, where's your heart? Dinosaurs or cows?
I mean, I guess cows because they're living and I can like pet them and love them.
Point.
Yeah. Interest factor, dinosaurs, just
Yeah.
because like there's so much mystery to them.
Yeah.
Like I can walk out here and see the cow. And
Yeah.
know how it lives
Yeah.
and what it eats and
Yeah.
all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
But with the dinosaurs, it's like a mystery. You have to figure it out.
Like I mentioned, we were both in 4-H, and when you show steers, you auction them off at the end of the year. Because you're a smaller operation, what did it mean to have, like, to auction off a steer? Like, that whole process, how did that influence your emotions, the finances, like, going into your college, like, age? Explain that process.
Yeah. Emotionally, it was always tough because, like, I just love animals. I'm an animalaholic. I love them so much.
Yeah.
And I mean, every year they would like become like my babies. I mean,
Yeah.
and you don't want to get rid of them.
Mm-hmm.
And so, I mean, there was never a year where I didn't cry.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's definitely tough in that department. Financially, it meant, a great deal. In our county, we were able to get bids from people,
Right.
and you get more money in that way. You don't just get the market price, so you have extra money coming in,
Yeah.
which was able to help us in our situation buy our cattle for the next year and feed the cattle and feed our other animals as well, because you don't make as much money off the other one. My senior year, my last year, we took a lot of the money that we got from auction and put it towards my first semester of college.
Yeah.
So that helped a lot too. Which now the money that we get from the cattle doesn't really go to my college as much.
Yeah.
For multiple reasons.
Yep.
I have scholarships that help as well.
Right.
And then, I've been, lucky enough to have parents that are helping as well.
Yeah.
So we don't take as much of the money out of that just because, we have so many other animals that need provided for as well as the cattle. So, we have to buy feed and hay, and, we just redid all this fencing and stuff. So we took money that we had from the cattle and put it into that as well. The basic upkeep of the farm is what we use, all the money and stuff for. Why, hello.
A visitor. Cute.
Did you want to be on camera?
Yes,
But,
of course.
So, yeah, the financial aspect, we don't take as much of the money for, like, college purposes and other purposes.
Yeah.
It basically feeds back into the animals.
I'm Leslie. I'm Caitlin's mom, and we're very, very proud of her. Everything she's done, she's going on to new adventures and make us more proud. She comes back to the farm.
Yeah.
She always has us buying more animals because she sends us pictures of cattle all the time.
Yeah.
But no, we're supportive of whatever she wants to do. So, I mean, we've lived our life. We want our kids to live their life and go on and do whatever she wants to do. And we know she wants to stay in the cattle business. She loves the cattle business. So, she's going to be hunting dinosaur bones and raising cattle. Wherever she goes, we'll be on the farm looking after her cattle until she comes home.
Awesome.
You'll have a house on the backside of my 100 acres.
Woohoo! Interview done. Cut. What is that? Intake, I guess. I don't know. Whatever.